For 2.2.4, we are looking at our special types of lines, so parallel, perpendicular, coinciding, or intersecting. And you are typically asked to write your own or find the one that matches for each of these types. And so you really need to be solid on the definitions of each type. And I sometimes like to, as soon as I get a test or a quiz, I like to make a little note to myself. And so before I even try this problem, I'm going to make a note that parallel is the same slope, but a different y-intercept. Perpendicular is opposite reciprocal slopes. Coinciding is the same line. And intersecting is just not parallel. And so now I have this little cheat sheet to myself that I can reference when I go to actually do the problems that'll make my life a lot easier. And so you can't use your notes on the test, but you can, as soon as you get to this problem, write these things down so you can see them as you go through the actual problem with numbers. And so the first one, we want to write all four types. So parallel would have the same M but a different B. So keep this the same and change minus 12 to whatever you want. I'm going to do plus 8. As long as it's not minus 12, that's fine. I wrote it in a different color only to show that the blue is what you absolutely need. The orange could be different. For perpendicular, we want opposite reciprocal slopes. So we want, instead of a positive slope, we want a negative. And instead of 4/3, we want 3/4. And then again, the B doesn't matter for perpendicular, so you could do minus 12 or any other number. It doesn't matter. I typically just make those match. Coinciding is the same everything. So literally just rewrite the equation. And intersecting, as long as it's not parallel, then you're fine. I typically just like to write a completely different value, so I'll do y equals 9x minus 1. So 9 has nothing to do with those slopes, and 1 has nothing to do with the y-intercepts, and so it's completely different. I wanted to also show you this one because our slope is a little bit weird. If there's not a number in front of x, remember there's a 1. And we go to do parallel, that's pretty easy, so just keep it the same. Y equals x or 1x, it's up to you. And then as long as it's not minus 19, it can be whatever. However, perpendicular ends up being kind of weird because when you go to do, so the opposite is easy. This one's positive, we need to make ours negative. But the reciprocal is a little bit weird because this whole number as a fraction is 1/1. And when we flip it, it's 1/1. And so the reciprocal ends up just being a 1, which you can write or not write. That's up to you. But it looks weird because it looked like I never did the reciprocal because the reciprocal is the same thing. So I just wanted to make sure you saw that one. And then again, B doesn't matter, so do whatever you want. Coinciding is the exact same. And intersecting is completely different.